All right. Well, let's go ahead and move along to our featured training of the week. We have none other than Miss Heather Echevarria coming out tonight. Now, Heather, I just have to say that you are a beloved instructor, and let me qualify that just a little bit so you understand where I'm coming from. Not only are you respected and admired by the whole Renatus community, but just today, as we were talking about you coming on the Founders Webinar tonight, Caden Snyder comes out and goes, "Oh, Jay, you have to tell Heather I said hi. I haven't talked to her in a year. She's awesome." So not only are you admired and revered by the Renatus community, you are also held in very high regard with the Renatus home team, and we are excited to have you as our featured trainer tonight.
Well, thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here, and let's see if we can figure out how to share my screen.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to kick the presenter controls over to you.
Okay.
There we go.
All right, so let's see if I can. All right, perfect. Yay, I did it. I'm so proud of myself. I'm not the best with technology, but, you know, I get by. So for those of you that don't know me, that are on the call tonight, I'm going to start off with just a little bit about myself. And, you know, I'm super excited to be coming in to do that training at the corporate office on Saturday. August 3rd. Oh my gosh. I agreed to do it, and I thought, I got plenty of time to get ready, and it's always one of those things that I get really nervous leading up to it. So I'm super excited. We're actually going to drive in on Friday and get to the office, I think Friday afternoon, and hang out a little bit. And then we'll be there all day on Saturday. So really, really looking forward to that. A little bit about me to get started. So I have a master's degree in accounting. I went about it a little bit different than, traditional colleges, which, for those that don't know, I had a baby when I was 16. I graduated high school with a 4.0 GPA and just kind of continued on to prove people wrong that I would go on to be a success and I would get a college degree and I would do all of these things. So I went to school to the University of Phoenix online back before they were sure that, my accounting degree was even going to count. So it was a little while ago, but I'm so glad that I finished that degree, while I was raising my daughters and working and just kind of doing everything. But that degree has helped me a ton in my business. Together, Ben and I had bought and sold over 775 properties. And that's anything from, we did all sorts of different strategies, short sales, REOs, pre-foreclosure, foreclosure, auction, whatever acquisition strategy we needed to, that's stuff that we did in order to get those properties. I've been a licensed general contractor since 2011. I'm actually one of, I think there's two women general contractors between like our little Treasure Valley area. There's two of us, so one in Canyon County and me over here in Ada County. So kind of cool to be in that group. I've also been a licensed realtor since 2013. Now, I don't represent other clients. I only represent myself because I'm too busy. I knew that I wanted to be a realtor, to have access to the MLS so that I could be, running comps and I could see what's going on in my market and I could stay in the know. And also because nobody knows my product like I know my product. So it just made sense for me to list my own properties. But I don't work with buyers or sellers on the other side because honestly, they would probably fire me. We've been featured in a few different magazines. So I was featured in Green Home Builder magazine, which is an international magazine. I think it's a lot out of Canada, but that was July, August of 2017. I've also been featured in the ICF Builder magazine twice, July, August of 2018, and then January, February 2019. We actually won it's an international award at World of Concrete. We won the Small Residential Builder of the Year for a home we built here in Boise, Idaho. So it was a great honor. Super cool to get to go to that event and, be up for an award that, people all over the world are putting in for. So it was very cool to win that award. And then this year I was featured in Boise Lifestyle here in March 2019. So just kind of fun to have, a few things written about you. I guess it means you're doing things right. We've won the Best of House. I don't know if any of you guys I'm sure everybody's familiar with house.com. I love that. I encourage a lot of my clients to use it. We create idea books, and then once we start construction, I cut my clients off. They can't go on House anymore. But we've won Best of House for customer service and design, 2015, 16, 17, and 18. So kind of cool. Right now, I serve as the vice president for our local Building Contractors Association, so Building Contractors Association of Southwest Idaho, and I've been on the board of directors since 2015. I actually take over in November as president for 2020, so I will be the third female president of the BCA of SWI. I currently sit on several committees for the BCA, including public relations, builder-developer. I'm a committee member for Fall Parade and our Spring Parade, and I've also chaired both the Fall and the Spring and the PR committee. I've chaired them several times since 2015. This year we started a new committee called Professional Women in Building, PWB, and I was asked to chair that committee. So that is, professional women in the building industry, and we had our kickoff event just a couple months ago, and we're super excited to get that rolling and really to be supporting other women in our community that are in the business. And last and certainly not least, like I mentioned before, I have two daughters, Lacey and Whitney. They are, oh my gosh, Lacey just turned 25 this year, and Whitney will be 20 on August 12th. So, all of this with the two girls. So that's a little bit about me. So now we'll kind of talk a little bit about fix and flips, because that's what you guys want to hear about from me. That's what I'm coming in on August 3rd to talk about is what is a fix and flip? Everybody says Google it. We don't go to the Webster's Dictionary anymore, go to the library and pull out a book. We just Google it. But Google says fix and flipping is a phrase associated with real estate where, the completion of a few remodeling projects adds significant value to a home. I think that's true, but I don't think it's just fixing a property and selling it for a profit. I think there's a lot more that goes into it. In my opinion, fix and flip is really the exit strategy, which if you've taken our class or you've seen any snippets from it, you'll see that we use a gamut of acquisition strategies depending on what is going on in the market. You have to really buy right in order for this strategy to work. You have to buy it right. You have to do the right fixing, the right repair items, the right remodel in order to sell it at the end and make money. You can't just go in there and, make it your dream home. It's got to, do what the market needs, what the market can handle. So what I feel like it starts with is really the foundation of your business. That's the most important thing. Like the most important thing in a home is, when you're building it, it's the foundation of the home. That's the can't think of the word I'm trying to use. It sets the theme for everything that you're going to do in building the home. So what I feel like the foundation of your business is your business plan. Now, it's funny, I Googled business plans when I was preparing for this because I've kind of changed different strategies and I look at different ways to do a business plan. And I honestly do a business plan every single year. So I sit down and I call it kind of my goal session. I sit down, close to the end of the year, New Year's Eve, and I used to do this with my kids when they were younger. We would sit down and we would go over our personal, professional, family goals for the upcoming year. And we would make kind of a dream board out of those goals. And then it was so much fun to watch as the kids would accomplish their goals through the year because they were up on a board in front of them. Mm-hmm. Well, I did that same thing in business. So I do it. I look at where I'm at the beginning of the year. I look at what I'm wanting to do, and then I kind of back into what I have to do to get that done. So I printed off like 3 different business plan strategies. One is like 5 pages, one is 2 pages, and one is 1 page. So I don't think it really matters what you use for your business plan, as long as you actually have a plan. So I start off with a little bit, you go broad, like what I said, of what you want to accomplish that year. And I try to push myself, I don't say I want to do 100 homes this year when I didn't do any homes last year. You have to kind of be real with exactly what your goals are so you can back into those action steps. But it starts off with what do you have in place for your team? And by team, like, who do you have for your attorney, your accountant, your realtor, your contractor, if you're not a contractor? Do you, a designer maybe, and all the different subcontractors that you are going to need all along the way. Next thing you want to look at is the resources that you have. Do you have time? Do you have money? Do you just have credit? What are the things that you have that are going to help you accomplish those goals? So as you're looking at your big goals for the year and you're backing down to look at the team that you have and what you need in your team, who you need to go and interview and add to your team, then you're looking at the resources that you have. And, maybe you're strong on credit, but you don't have a whole lot of cash to put down. So maybe you need to bring in some partners. Just looking, being honest with yourself and really looking at it and saying, this is what I need in order to accomplish my goals. And there again, set goals. I like to keep my goals in. I have a book that I carry around with me that I write all my to-do list in. I'm a big proponent for to-do lists. I love at the end of the day to look at my list and have stuff that's crossed off. I know some people like to put their to-do list in their phones. I'm not that way. I want to see that I've crossed everything off my list. I just feel a sense of accomplishment from doing that. And I know that I'm working closer to my goals when I'm accomplishing those tasks. I review my goals on a weekly, monthly, just however often I need to review them to keep myself focused on achieving those goals. Creating action steps, that's the to-do list. You create that big goal, you look at your team, you look at the resources, you set kind of longer term, maybe quarterly goals, and then you got to create those action steps that are going to be monthly, weekly, daily that you have to do in order to get to those goals that you've set for yourself. When you're looking at all of this stuff and you're creating your business plan, part of your business plan needs to include understanding your market and what you really need in your market. It's recognizing trends. So right now, one of the things that I'm focused on in our market, and I'm in Boise, Idaho, but one of the things I found here is right now our properties are selling at crazy, just it's insane price per square foot, what things are selling for. I've been to a couple of auctions. I knew that they were going to go for too much, but I still registered to bid. I still went. They went for way more. I'm kind of watching to see what the people that bought them are doing with them. But what I have started to focus on is I love to remodel homes. I love building new homes, but I love remodeling homes. I love taking something that is not functional, the design that's not functional, and changing it up and making it so functional, making it work for today's families. So because people are willing to pay more for a property than what I can pay for it, because I've got to take into account, I've got holding costs, I've got the remodel costs, and I've got to sell it. And when I sell it, I've got realtors to pay and just all these other costs that the end buyer can go in and they can buy this house. And I am marketing to those realtors that are out showing these properties that need remodeled. I'm out there marketing to agents to let them know, hey, if you're showing your clients this house and there's a couple things they just don't like about it, let me know. We can change the carpet, we can change the paint, we can do all these things. So in recognizing the trends in my market, what I'm doing is I'm marketing to the end homeowner that is out there looking for a deal. They're willing to pay more for a property than what I can. And then I can go in there and work with them, and I'm remodeling it, doing whatever it is that they need me to do, whatever they want me to do. But also I'm working on educating them to always keep the end in mind. You know, this, you may think this is your forever home, but I want, you know, my clients to always think resale. So not to compromise it too much to where it doesn't make sense down the road for resale. Again, with the acquisition strategy, you know, if you have somebody that comes to you because you've been doing this for a long time, or you just put it out there when you're new that, hey, this is, I'm buying properties. I pay cash for properties, or whatever, you know, the strategy is that you're using, you'll start to get referrals as well. But the acquisition is the most important part, I believe. And Renatus classes do a great job at teaching you all the different ways to acquire properties. And like I said, fix and flip is really the end strategy, the exit strategy. It's not really the acquisition strategy. I already talked about the needs in your market. You know what? Another thing that I'm doing right now, I went out there and found ways to differentiate myself from the other builders and general contractors in the area. So in new construction, I found a way to do that with insulated concrete form walls. So that's where we take, like building a house with giant Legos. I'm actually going to talk a little bit about that when I come and do the class on August 3rd. But most people build with standard 2x6 and, you know, put the insulation in there. They get an R22 in their exterior walls. I have found a need in our market. We've got a lot of people moving in from California and Seattle and places that where energy costs are a lot higher than they are here, but they're very concerned with those energy costs and they want an energy efficient home. Well, I'm able to build them an ICF home that has an R52 equivalent in the exterior walls. They're using a quarter of the energy to heat a home. It also makes it, you know, fire resistant, and just there's a whole gamut of things that make it so much better, a better way to build. But that was one of the needs in the market, that I wanted to find a way to differentiate myself, to build a better home, to build a stronger home, to build a more energy efficient, a more green home here. And that's just one of the things that I found that I could differentiate myself. I did a cost benefit analysis. I do that on every single job. So every single property that I'm looking at, you look at the cost. What is it going to cost me to get it to here? And one of the things that I do is, you know, I bid out my stuff. I look at it. I've gotten really good at the numbers. I think that comes a little bit from, you know, my education in accounting. But when you're doing remodels, when you're doing fix and flip, when you're doing anything in real estate, you really have to look at what the costs are and, you know, what the end value is going to be, because you don't want to over rehab it. You don't want to overdo something and not make the return that you were planning to make. During our class, I think this is the one that I actually showed how, I think I took a piece of tracing paper or wax paper, and I was showing you guys how I go about when I'm trying to explain something to somebody and they're not quite getting the vision that's in my head. So I draw it out. Well, this is the house. So all along the bottom of the house there, along the garage and behind the stairs where all that cedar is, used to be lava rock. And it just was dated and it was ugly. And we had to find a way to really make this house pop and overcome the fact that the entrance is up on the second story. So in our market, you know, a split entry or an entry like this is considered, you know, not a great thing. It's people don't like them. And so we had to overcome that hurdle with this one. So I thought with the cedar along the front, and then we redid the stairs, and everybody thought I was crazy when I wanted to do these stairs with the wood. And then you can't really see in this picture, but it actually is rebar. And I left it raw rebar so that it would rust when it rained. And I wanted that look. But when I was telling everybody about this, they all thought I was crazy, and I'm drawing it out, showing them what I'm wanting to do. And in the end, it turned out really, really nice. So that front railing is all done that way. There's a deck there on the side that you see that was done that way as well. So this is the after picture of the outside. I can't remember if we showed the before pictures during class, but I will definitely do that when I'm there on Saturday, August 3rd. Here's how the kitchen ended up. We did some reworking of the kitchen because you used to kind of walk through and it just was not functional at all, and it was a really, really odd floor plan. So this allowed us to get a built-in pantry that you see there on your right, with a lot of drawers for cabinets because you don't have a lot of uppers. There was actually another walk-in pantry with room behind it that's behind that refrigerator that you see the handles on the left side there. But the kitchen really needed to be a nice, open, functional look in this house, and that's what we accomplished here in this one. This is the master bedroom. We didn't really do much in here. That the design that was there on the wall, that was actually there. We just painted it, and then new carpet, new trim on everything. So, didn't have to go overboard all in throughout the whole house. And then this was the living room. They had these beautiful board and batt ceilings. They just had not been taken care of. So by putting a really dark stain on those beams and then painting the ceiling white, it really made it pop. Mm-hmm. And there was a fireplace there and just a ton of windows to take advantage of the beautiful views. And then that was deck number 3 that you can see out that window. So just a lot of possibilities with this home. And it was a lot of fun. It was a big remodel that took a little bit longer than what we had expected, but it turned out great, and it actually went pretty quick when we sold it. So they wanted me to tease a little bit more too about some new classes that we're going to be filming this fall. So we're going to be talking about women in real estate and breaking barriers. So I'm going to talk a lot about design, project management, construction methods. I've gone so far as I've become a distributor for some of my own products. So I cut out the middleman. I draw my own plans. So I have a drafting and design company. It's just kind of what can I do to make my job easier? Because I work with my clients, whether it's new construction, a remodel, or even I'm working with people that are going to be flipping a house, that they've bought a house as an investment. They want me to come in and do the remodel for them, and then they're going to sell it. So I play that role as well. But we're going to talk about differentiating yourself from everybody else in the market, what you can do, those little things that you can do to really make yourself stand out, because we all know this business is not just for men. It's for women too. And we just have to step up and take control and get out there and get it done. So I'm really excited for these new classes. We don't have dates just yet as to when we're going to record. Like Christian said, I could say that it's going to be in the fall this year. So I guess watch your emails and they'll let you know when that's going to be. And then I like motivational quotes, and this is one that I feel is very relevant for me. Don't fake it till you make it. Garbage advice. You got to face it till you make it. Get up, work hard, fail, stand back up, face it again, do a little better. You're going to fail again, get back up, and repeat over and over and over again. And that's really the message that I want to get out there to the women out there. We can all do this. We can do it with the men. We can do it by ourselves. It's just a fun project to do. It's a fun business to be in. And I'm super excited to be coming to Salt Lake City to be in front of you guys on August 3rd and get some updated information, show you some new projects that I'm working on. I've got some new pictures and all sorts of stuff to add to the fix and flip class and update it just a little bit for you guys. So I think I'm supposed to turn this back over to Jay, right?
You are. Heather, can I ask you just one question?
You can.
What were some of the hurdles that you had to overcome as you were getting started?
Well, when I was first getting started, I didn't go to school to be in real estate. I went to school to be an accountant. So I was really good at the numbers. And I tell the story of when we got into new construction. It was actually because we had been buying so many REO properties and like stopping the auctions, just different things, different ways to acquire the properties. But we were buying so many of those that we got the attention of a bank. And so they called and they said they had four lots in Hidden Springs, which is a little community outside of Boise. And they wanted to know if we wanted them. They wanted $20,000 a piece for these lots. $20,000 lots are non-existent in this market anymore. They really didn't exist a whole lot back then. So we jumped at the opportunity, and then it was like, okay, now what? I don't know the first thing about building a house from scratch. I've had to learn on the remodels what to do. I've been told that I can't do certain things, and I want to understand why. And I feel like when you're doing a remodel, I feel like you're so much more limited than you are when you're doing new construction. But when we were doing new construction, we partnered with a builder, and I thank God every day that he didn't hold up his end of the deal the way that he should have, because I learned so much about building. I was on that job site every day. I was learning from the contractors that were there, and it helped me become the builder that I am today. But the hurdles is really just getting in there and getting your feet wet. I mean, when you're doing a remodel, you're going to open up a wall, and a lot of times you don't know what you're going to find until you open that wall. So it's really the unknown is probably the biggest hurdle of all, Jay.
Gotcha. I love how you said that you have gratitude for the partner that didn't fulfill his end of the bargain because it forced you into the deep end of the pool.
Yep. You don't know how to swim. Here, let me put you.
Right? You're going to figure it out real quick. Heather,
yep.
Thank you so much for coming out tonight and sharing. I am so looking forward to bringing you in studio on August 3rd. It's going to be awesome. For everybody, all of you at home, thank you for tuning in tonight. Renatus is a community. Renatus is a family of instructors and of motivated individuals who are like-minded in their intent and who are all looking forward to creating and becoming the change that they wish to see in the world. I love Renatus because Renatus rocks. Have a great night, everybody.